Coming up tonight on the news at 6, there you have it, a live look at the Hillary Clinton rally happening right now in Riverside.
And KMIR News, it sits down with Democratic nominee underdog Bernie Sanders. The senator spoke with us about issues concerning the Coachella Valley. We'll have that full interview straight ahead.
Temperatures staying below the normal range as clouds continue to collect around the Coachella Valley. Rain even moving through California. Details you don't want to miss coming up. My complete forecast.
First in the Coachella Valley, you're watching KMIR TV Palm Springs, where the news comes first. KMIR News starts now.
Good evening. This is the KMIR News at 6, streaming live at KMIR.com. I'm Gino Lamont.
And I'm Janet Zapala.
Topping the news at 6 o'clock tonight, Decision 2016. You're looking at a live picture from Riverside where a Hillary Clinton rally is underway. The candidate is expected to take to the podium in the next couple of minutes. They are at the Johnson Family Practice Center on the campus of University of California, Riverside. And again, you're looking at live shots of the rally in Riverside where Hillary Clinton is expected to speak any moment now. And with the California primaries just 2 weeks away and the Democratic nominees still up in the air, we are expecting some fireworks over the next few days here in California as the candidates have their eyes set on the Inland Empire, yes, obviously, and here in the Coachella Valley.
Absolutely, including Bernie Sanders, who also held a rally today for supporters in Riverside. Our Vince Marino stopped by both. He is live in Riverside right now at the Hillary Clinton rally. Vince.
That's right, we're here at the Hillary Clinton rally inside the gymnasium at UC Riverside. The crowd here is animated and anxiously awaiting the former Secretary of State. Earlier, before we came inside, we saw a group of Hillary Clinton protesters. They were chanting the phrase, "It's a bird, it's a plane, it's private investment for personal gain." They were also saying that the H in Hillary stands for hypocrisy, but not everyone was protesting. Here's one of what her supporters had to say. What draws you to Hillary Clinton?
Well, her vast foreign policy experience, which I think is like necessary in a president, as that's one of the primary roles of the presidency, but also just her overall knowledge. I think she's one of the most intelligent politicians we have.
Earlier we were at the Bernie Sanders rally at the Riverside Municipal Auditorium, where we saw a large presence of young supporters. The energy inside the auditorium at times seemed like a concert. People were cheering the name Bernie over and over. We spoke with a few Bernie Sanders supporters, and here's what one of them had to say.
Again, we listen to his messages day in and day out, but we're really here just to support him and to really do everything we can. If we need to volunteer, then that's what we'll do.
Both candidates were in town spreading their message and trying to get as many votes as they possibly could before the California primary on June 7th, excuse me. Live in Riverside, I'm Vince Marino, KMIR News.
All right, thank you, Vince. Senator Bernie Sanders spending a lot of time in California before the primary, now just 14 days away.
That's right. 2 weeks from today, our Kitty Alvarado was the only local TV reporter invited to sit down one-on-one with the presidential hopeful. He had a lot to say to Coachella Valley residents. Our Kitty Alvarado is here now with her report. Kitty.
Well, our time with the senator was short, but he told us that he is very familiar with the valley and spent time in Desert Hot Springs during his last visit, and he's been there before. He says he's confident the California vote will go his way and directed his message to the working class of the Coachella Valley.
The Coachella Valley is diverse, so I started by asking Democratic presidential hopeful Senator Bernie Sanders how he plans to represent the interests of all desert residents.
My main concern is not worrying about billionaires. My main concern is worried about working people and low-income people. My concern is that we have people working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, but are earning wages so low that they cannot afford to feed their families.
Sanders says he's no stranger to the valley, so we asked what he thought about the land boom in Desert Hot Springs sparked by marijuana growers.
We often would vacation in Desert Hot Springs. We went to the Desert Hot Springs Hotel where they have all those nice mineral waters. So I know the area. I did not know about what you're talking about, but this is what I do believe, to be honest with you. I believe that at a time when millions of people in the last 30 years have received criminal records because of possession of marijuana, I think we have to rethink the war on drugs. If I lived here in California, I would vote to legalize marijuana.
How confident are you that you're going to win a lot of the delegates here in California? A lot of them up for grabs.
We got 475 up for grabs. This is by far the most important primary, and that's why we're spending so much time here and we're working so hard. I think that we can win here. I think we can win big, and we can get the lion's share of those delegates.
Your message to the Coachella Valley ahead of your rally there
is, if you believe that it is too late for establishment politics and establishment economics, if you want a candidate who's going to stand up for working families and take on the big money interests who have so much influence today, Bernie Sanders is that candidate.
And Senator Bernie Sanders says he hopes to draw over 200,000 people to rallies across California. And Sanders will return to the Valley for a rally on Wednesday at 10 o'clock at Big League Dreams Baseball Stadium in Cathedral City. Stay with KMIR and KMIR.com for continued coverage and details. Gino, Janet, back to you.
All right, thank you, Kitty. Most cities in the desert will soon need to come up with some extra cash to pay for police services. Riverside County Commissioners approved a 7.5% increase in the fees cities pay the Sheriff's Office to staff their own police departments. The higher rates are retroactive to last July. Several cities here in the desert, including Rancho Mirage, Palm Desert, Indian Wells, La Quinta, and Coachella, all contract with the Sheriff's Department to provide their police services. Those cities also face higher fees to cover the equipment and facilities used by the Sheriff's Department. Sunline is considering changing some of its bus routes. The agency says it wants to make adjustments to several routes to better reflect where riders are traveling to and where they're traveling from. This will include adding service in some areas and cutting back services in others. The agency meets tomorrow to decide if they want to move forward with some of these changes.
Gorgeous weather today, really nice.
KMIR News Chief Meteorologist Ginger Jeffrey standing by with the latest. Ginger.
Yes, numbers well below the normal range, all with the help of some wind. This wind coming in from the northwest, so it's keeping most of the moisture at bay, but providing us with just amazing conditions. Don sending me this photo he called wispy and windy. Yep, those cirrus clouds overhead, a sign of wind just to the west of us, and certainly they've got a wispy appearance in the sky. Satellite picture shows certainly we've got some moisture to the north of us, none of it really making a big impact on Southern California by way of cloud cover or even some showers. But understand, it is coming our direction. The key to the forecast is because of this cold front that's to the north, we're drawing onshore the marine layer and releasing some westerly wind that is bringing cooler air to you and me. So daytime highs actually coming down a degree from yesterday as advertised. But again, you can't miss the flow in the atmosphere showing the onshore track, so westerly or northwesterly wind will keep your daytime highs well below the normal range. Right now, we've got mid to low 60s along the coastline. I've got 81 degrees overhead. Normal for us this time of the year, 96 degrees. Instead, courtesy of, yes, that westerly influence, we're keeping those temperatures down under mostly clear skies tonight. But notice this time of the year, well, we're no stranger to the triple digits. Our highs typically in the upper 90s, so that means low 100s is kind of the standard, with records standing at about 115 degrees. But instead, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about continued below normal conditions. In fact, it's going to be mild at least through the weekend. So how's your Memorial Day taking shape? We're going to talk about that coming up. My complete forecast. Back to you.
The Desert Hot Springs Planning Commission is recommending an accelerated timeline for one of the developers looking to cultivate marijuana in the city's vacant lots.
And the city says that this will deliver much needed tax revenue. Our Julie Bueller is live tonight in Desert Hot Springs with the latest on this story. Julie.
It's a few years in the making, but it seems we're only a few weeks away from the state's first marijuana cultivation facility being grown and operating right here on this vacant land in Desert Hot Springs. Now, city officials did recognize that there have been, quote, bumps in the road, but after tonight's Planning Commission presentation, they expect the project will be approved and the grower will get their green light. While G Pharma Labs is looking to build a 100,000 square foot compound consisting of 3 greenhouses, a packing house, and a guardhouse by the end of 2017, tonight they're asking for a conditional use permit to build a temporary building in hopes of growing marijuana marijuana by June and capitalizing on the growing season that runs through October. City officials tell us this expedited timeline helps growers get started without expensive greenhouses and the electricity needed for them, and it could net the city some $800,000 by October. We're told DHS usually looks to be business friendly and expedite industrial requests in general, but this request, this industry, it's unique.
We, as in the state of California, the first city to actually go through this the proper way, and so people are looking at us. So being the leader in the industry, such as any industry, you're going to find bumps in the road where it's just going to happen, and so we've been doing our best to fix those, straighten it out, and now it can be streamlined.
City officials also tell us that they expect the city council will move forward with the project, and that meeting to approve this project, that's June 7th. They also tell us that they are anticipating recreational use will be approved by California voters in November. And while they have contingencies in case that doesn't happen, they believe that Desert Hot Springs is perfectly positioned to capitalize on that industry as well. They encouraged anyone, if they have questions or would like to know more about the cultivation business, they have cultivation orientation every Monday and Wednesday at Desert Hot Springs City Hall at 2 o'clock. Live in Desert Hot Springs, it's a pretty windy night. I'm Julie Bueller, KMIR News.
All right, thank you, Julie. As a big birthday approaches for the late icon Marilyn Monroe,
We're going to tell you how the Coachella Valley is celebrating and how you can be a part of the festivities. And it's been a good year to be a football fan in California. The Rams will return to LA this year, and a Super Bowl has been scheduled in the City of Angels. We'll have more on that coming up.
You're watching KMIR News at 6 with Gina Lamont, Janet Zapola, and Chief Meteorologist Ginger Jeffries.
Well, Marilyn Monroe fans, listen up. Her birthday is next Wednesday, June 1st. The icon would have been 90 years old. Monroe certainly is loved here in the desert. Her giant statue, as you know, was downtown for a time. Local artists will be celebrating Monroe by displaying their Marilyn Monroe works at a gallery beginning on Thursday. And we caught up with one of the artists today as he was working on his Marilyn piece. The show opens on Thursday at the Hyatt Modern Art Gallery on North Palm Canyon in Palm Springs, and a reception with all of the artists is planned for Friday night beginning at 5. Public is invited. The show will run over the holiday weekend, and we've posted all the details on the show for you on our website at KMIR.com. And students at one elementary school were in for quite a treat today. Palm Springs Opera Guild of the Desert decided to stop by Cathedral City Elementary to help students learn more about the art form. The program included opera singers performing and dancing with the students as they discussed the music and the stories behind the performances.
It feels absolutely wonderful. Not only do we feel like superstars when we walk into these schools, but we get such wonderful feedback from the students and the parents. Just the other day I was in the community at a grocery store, and a parent walked up to me and said, "Are you the opera singer from the school? My son had a wonderful time in your show today." So it's just wonderful for everyone involved.
Yeah, that's great to hear. And over the next few weeks, the opera program will be visiting 18 different schools in the Palm Springs Unified School District.
Well, the city of Los Angeles will have an NFL team in the fall and a Super Bowl, well, a short time after that. League officials met today and decided which cities will host the next few Super Bowls. The game will come to Los Angeles in 2021. The goal is to host it in a new stadium being built for the Rams. The $2.6 billion stadium in Inglewood should be ready in time for the Rams' 2019 season. LA last hosted a Super Bowl in 1993 when it was played at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena.
Can't believe it was that long ago.
That long ago.
At the Rose Bowl.
I was a baby.
You and me both. Bernie Sanders' rally coming to town should attract a big crowd and, of course, long lines.
We're going to tell you how the weather will be for Bern. Ginger?
Temperature is definitely not on the toasty side. We just want to make it perfect. No excuses outside as numbers continue to be very mild, all with the help of the onshore flow. So will this continue through the holiday weekend? We're going to talk about that after the break.
says no triple digits anywhere in sight in the near future.
That is good news. KMIR News Chief Meteorologist Ginger Jeffrey standing by with more good news.
In fact, not only are temperatures mild, we are cooler than our friends on the East Coast. Take a look at the national forecast highs tomorrow. New York going for near 90-degree heat tomorrow. St. Louis, 86. Chicago, 84. You and me, we're cooler, 83 degrees tomorrow. So clearly the onshore flow is keeping us on the mild side, and it's going to spit a couple of showers in Southern California. Doesn't look like there's much hope for that actually migrating into the Coachella Valley, but you cannot miss all the cold air that's parked just off the coastline. That cloud cover that looks like cotton that's basically pulled apart. This is sub-freezing particulate matter, and as it comes into play, it keeps your temperatures on the cooler side. Now, we're also a natural wind tunnel, so as the moisture gets closer, we're also going to have to contend with a little bit of wind. Notice, we've got all that moisture in that cloud bank parked up right around the mouth of the pass. We're going to continue to see this through tomorrow. So very hit and miss activity again. Doesn't look like it has a good opportunity to actually make its way into the Coachella Valley, but the net result, all the cold air surrounding the moisture, yeah, you're going to feel that right now. We're already down to 78 degrees in Cathedral City with double-digit winds, especially along the I-10, gusting up to 31 miles an hour in Palm Springs. So the wind keeping you on the mild side. Thin clouds in the morning. Otherwise, it is downright beautiful with temperatures in the low 80s. In fact, 80 is the screenplay for us, at least through about Thursday. Warmer weather by this weekend, but still technically speaking, with our normal high, 96 degrees, we are staying below the normal range through Memorial Day. Have you ever?
Never.
Looks lovely.
This is just stunning.
Exactly.
One,
Enjoy it.
One triple-digit day.
1 for Palm Springs, 2 for Thermal so far. That's the running tally this year.
Unbelievable.
Not bad.
We'll
All
take it.
right.
All right. Thanks, Ginger.
Coming up, well, rumor has it that Adele really is rolling in the deep.
Well, deep in stacks of cash,
Yep,
that is.
yep.
We'll tell you how many millions of dollars the singer's new contract is said to be worth in tonight's Showbiz Report. In tonight's Showbiz Report, legendary singer Bob Dylan turned 75 years old today, and I've heard rumors, I can't confirm, but I've heard rumors he may be doing a show coming up in the Coachella Valley.
You think in the fall?
I think maybe in the fall. I'm just saying, I've heard rumors. Bob Dylan's annual birthday bash will be held in Philadelphia with a few dozen acts. Nashville is hosting Dylan Fest, a 2-night concert benefiting charities. And of course, Dylan is being celebrated all over the world on social media. And in case we haven't mentioned it, he'll be here in the fall. Adele is reportedly ready to sign one of the biggest record deals ever, according to several British news outlets. The 10-time Grammy win, 10 times, really? I was close to finalizing a deal with Sony Records worth, I don't know, a cool $130 million. Between her 3 albums, Adele has sold more than 50 million copies worldwide, and nobody buys albums anymore. The Showbiz Report is brought to you each and every night by the show at Ottawa Caliente Casino Resort Spa and Rancho Mirage. Coming up with the show, Art LeBeau, followed by Brian Regan, and UB40 hits town in August. And as always, stay tuned to KMIR for your chance to win tickets to the show. We'll be right back. The 2 Democratic hopefuls are barnstorming Riverside County today, 2 weeks before July 7th's California primary. You're looking at a live picture of Hillary Clinton currently speaking at UC Riverside. Let's take a quick listen.
You are voting for the person you think can keep us safe at home, keep our friends and our allies and our partners safe by working with them. And I just want for a moment to be really serious about this, because there is so much to be concerned about when it comes to Donald Trump, but this is among the most solemn responsibilities that any president faces. I've spent a lot of hours in the Situation Room. I have seen the choices that come to the president. The easy ones get decided.
All right, that's going to do it for us. The KMIR News will continue tonight at 11 o'clock. Have a great night. We'll see you back here at 11.